Good day everyone. My name is Tom Chavez from BS Ed, major in Science 3. So this day I'm going to discuss what is standardized test scoring. But before that, please allow me to read first my objectives. So at the end of the lessons, the student should be able to A. Define what is standardized test scoring. B. Knows the important types of the standardized test scoring. And C. Understand the standardized test scoring. So, standardized test scoring is test standardization is a process by which teacher or researcher made tests are validate and item analyze. After a through process of validation, the test characteristics are established. These characteristics include test validity, test reliability, test difficulty level, and other characteristics are previously discussed. Each standardized test uses its own mathematical scoring system derived by the publisher and administrators, and these do not bear any relationships to academic grading system. Standardized tests are psychometric instruments whose scoring system are developed by norming the test using national samples of test takers, centering the scoring formula to assure that he likely curve distribution describes a normal curve when graph, and then the resulting scoring systems uniformly in a manner resembling a criterion reference approach. So, types of standardized test scores. So, there are 6 types of standardized test scores. So, the first one is the standard score. So, what is standard score? So, it is a set of scores that have the mean and the standard deviation so they can be compared. So it is a test developers that calculate the statistical upgrade page based on the performance of the student and tested in the norming process of the test development, so that the score assigned a value to different performance levels are calculated based on the differences in the student scores from the statistical average and are expressed as standard deviation. So it is also known as standard score because it allows comparison of scores on the different kinds of variables by standardizing the distribution. So I order, or also known as S and D, is normally shaped distribution with a mean of a zero standard deviation, or is a state of 1. So the most important thing for parents to understand with a standard score is what is considered average. So common practice on standard tests used for speech and language assessment is that 100 is the mean score of the standard deviation is a plus 15 or negative 15. So as you can see in the picture above, so there is a standard score. So the very low score is which is called extremely low, and then followed by very low, and then followed by low average, and the standard average is the center, which is, can you see in the picture that there is a curve from the bottom to the up, so which is the next side, which is the high average, the high very average or extremely high. So you can see the standard score is the 100 followed by 50 and then 1 over 10. It should be 5, so is the standard scores rather. So the next types of standardized test scoring is percentile. These percentile scores are just one type of test score you will find on your child's testing reports from schools. Percentile scores almost and always are report on major achievements tests that are taken by your child's entire class. These scores also will be found on individual diagnostic test reports. Test percentile scores are important for making decisions about your child's education, especially when considering a special education program. Under Understanding these scores can help you gain a clearer picture of your child's abilities and help you spot areas where they may need extra assistance. In some cases, specific scores on an exam may be required in order to receive specialized assistance or to gain admission to certain. The next types of standardized test scoring is Z-scores. These scores are scaled on a number line ranging from 4 to 4. On this scale, 0 is average. Positive scores are above average and negative scores are below average. So it means that these scores are scaled on a number line ranging from -4 to 4. So in this scale, 0 is average, so positive scores are above average. So the negative scores are below average. So z-score is a numerical measurement that describe a value relationship to the mean of a group of values. So this scores is measured in terms of standard deviation from the mean. If a z-scores is a 0 to indicates that the data point is identical mean score. So this scores also indicates how much you given a value differ the standard deviation. So the z-score or standard score is the number of standard deviation given data point placed above or below mean. So standard deviation is essentially a reflection of amount or variability within a given data set. So as you can see in the picture, there are -4 and then +4. To the last, so scores means you will start in the -4 and ends with 4. So that is it. So, and now let's discuss the T-score. The T-score are standardized scores on each dimensions for each type. A score of 50 represents the mean. A difference of 10 from the mean indicates a difference of one set standard deviations. Thus, score of 60 is one standard deviation above the mean, while a score of 30 is two standard deviation below the mean. So a T-score is closely related to its cousins, which is the Z-score. So if the Z-score is based upon on a standard normal distributions with a mean of a 0 and standard deviations of 1, so the T-score or the T-distribution was created by William Gossett to take into account small sample sizes. So it's like a standard normal. The T-distribution is perfectly symmetric about a mean of 0 as the sample size increases towards infinity. The T-distribution approaches the standard normal distribution. So as you can see in the picture, so the distributions or n equals 12 is flatter or more spread out rather than calculating confidence interval or distribution will result a wider interval compared to a z distribution. This is more constitutive given smaller sample size and increases the internal interval rather to be captured the true population parameter. the true population parameter. So next one is standing score. Standing score is a way to scale scores on a 9-point scale. It it can be used to convert any test scores to a single digit scores like Z scores and T scores. Standing are a way to assign a number to a member of a group relative to all members in the group. So I have here an example which is the image here in my presentation. So you can see a chart of a number. So there are scores. There are 100 score in the table above. So that are a form of population that is normally distributed with a mean of 400 and standard deviation of 25. So the scores have been wrong in ascending order as. So it is the calculation of standing scores. So we will be how to determine which rows scores becoming standing scores. So the first 4% of wrong scores, which is rows to 351 to 354, will be given a standing scores of 1% to the next 7% of rank scores, which is the row scores of the 356 to 365 will be given standing score of the two next 12% of the rank scores, which is the row scores in the 30. So the first 4% of wrong scores, which is the row scores 351 to 354, will be given a standard scores of 1%. So the next 7% of rank scores, which is the row scores of 356 to 365, will be given standing scores of the two next 12% of the rank scores, is the 366 to 384 will be given a standing score of 3, and then the next 20 rather of the rank score, which is the row scores of 392 to 406, will be given a standing score of 5. And the ratio, now that the scores have been converted to 9-point scale, so we can easily interpret them. So a score of a 5 of the 5 is the midpoint and is the average scores. So each point have a scale of 0.5 standard deviation away from the mean. And now let's discuss the last types of the standard test scoring, which is the scaled scores. So a scaled scores is a scaled scores of representations of the total number of correct answer, also known as a row scores. A candidate has provided that has been converted into a consistent and standardized scale. Scaled scores indicate the same level of performance regardless of which form an candidate has received.